Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage President and CEO of the Battery Innovation Center, Mr. Ben Wrightsman.
Well, good morning, still I guess, and welcome all of you to our third annual stakeholder luncheon. As I stand here today, I can tell you I walked in, I was a little blown away, and I am each year for the fact that literally 3 years ago, myself and David, came up with a crazy idea at that time to get together our members of the BIC, and at that point, just a few of you, a couple of the tables would have made up about all the room that we took up in a small hall at Ruth Chris Steakhouse, and got everybody together to kind of talk about what was happening in the breakthroughs. And last year, coming to this venue for the very first time, and hoping that we would have enough tables. And this year, looking at the member companies, the clients and partners, and the network of the Battery Innovation Center. So I want to thank you all for being here, for taking your time out of everyone's busy schedule to be here to support the BIC, to support the network, and to support what's happening in the advanced energy sector. Probably ought to also make sure I start out with a long list of thank yous. It's probably going to sound like the Grammy Awards for a moment, but I want to make sure that I catch everyone that was critical to our continued success and also to this event along the way. First would be the board members of the Battery Innovation Center, David Roberts, Brad Ellsworth, Paul Mitchell, and Chad Pittman. Thank you very much for your guys' continued support. I know that every year you'll get a cash that check that never shows up in the mail for your support of the BIC, along with all the other things you do. So I very, very much appreciate your guys' continued support, and also to several of those members, for David and I back in 15, when we had a crazy idea to take the BIC from, unfortunately, a company that it was just not working out, and with the unfortunate demise of the late Captain Chuck Lasoda, to be able to come from the ashes. So excited about that, excited for the leadership. Number two, to the BIC team, to Ashley, Rich, James, Heather, Jonathan, Evan, Tyson, and Matt. You guys have been a standhold along this entire journey, and I think we'd all say it's been very, very hard. There's lots of times that we're trying. I know there's plenty of times that even I walked into my own office and was ready to throw in the towel along the way. You wouldn't think that would happen in just a few years, but it's amazing within a startup, what those things come up, and then the vivacity of the team and the strength of the team as they rally around each other. And then also for our keen partner support, Energy Systems Network was one of the ones who was one of the original crazy idea founders of the Battery Innovation Center back in, I believe it was 11-12 time frame, and getting everybody together. But ESN has been a huge, I would say, we've been quiet partners with each other along the way, and this year really starting to build that even further. Rachel, Paige, have been huge in helping with this event. Do me a favor, for Rachel, Paige, and Heather, please put your hands together, and also to Bonnie for helping make everything that we got in front of you today a success. And then Paul again in leading that, Melissa, Matt, Tim, Ben, and Caroline, some of our new folks within Energy Systems Network as we start to grow. Just some really exciting things that are happening there. And then I also want to thank a couple of what we'll call we like to call them our brothers and sisters from another mother that reside with us at the Battery Innovation Center. Our folks from UL that are joining us today, and then also Brightvolt Corporation. We're excited to have you guys here and be a part of that. So I don't want to delay the show too much, because I can guarantee you nobody wants to hear me talk. I do it too much most of the time. So just give you some highlights on the BIC. For those who are in the room and maybe got invited and aren't aware of the BIC, I won't bore you with this slide reading through it, but the mission of the BIC still continues today, and it has not changed or wavered since Chuck's inception. Our focus, though, has been, we've kind of realigned that focus. So to develop and test and commercialize those next generation energy storage systems. The key partners today being industry and DoD and academia. And I think that's really what the biggest change has been, is originally a heavy DoD focus. They've been a great ally, a great partner. We sit beside the third largest naval base in the world, the only landlocked naval base in the world. If you want to learn more about that, there's several folks from Crane here today that can tell you all about why we have a huge Navy base with no water in the middle of southern Indiana. Again, exciting to have them as a partner as well. But then focusing even more in the last 3 years on industry. How do we commercialize this tech, bring everybody together? And you can see they're kind of what our distinguishing features and then our core offerings. As I tell people today, we can take it from out of the ground to into your product. Our job is to sort through the DS and make it a reality. So while there's a lot of other places that are focused on, I'll say, pushing the sciences or pushing PowerPoints, pushing data, our job is pushing the business. And so we're in a very, very unique space. And again, it's a continued privilege to be a part of that. So as I was preparing for this today, just kind of this intro, I was trying to, what does the big do? People come in all the time, they're like, I haven't heard of you still today. I mean, we're still not that old. And they're also, what do you guys do? And this fit really well with also some initiatives we're doing here locally. I kind of broke them down into kind of two key areas here. The first is collaborate and convene. I like to say at this point, and this didn't come from me or from my team making this up, we have been told this countless times that you guys are the place for advanced energy storage. While there's a lot of people that have pieces and parts, you guys have the ability, again, to run it from the ground all the way to the application. We believe at this point that we're still continuing to have virtually unequal capabilities. Key, I think the biggest key here is access to experience and expertise from all across the industry, this very vast network. If we look here today, I'm going to miss a bajillion companies, but we've got folks that are one or two people, effectively kind of out of a garage or out of the university, all the way to multi-billion-dollar, multinational OEMs, chemical companies, transport companies, battery folks. I'll be honest, we do work with folks you wouldn't ever think are doing batteries. Why is Amazon, why is Facebook doing batteries? Why is Valvoline, getting into batteries? Why is PPG and others getting into batteries? Even Cummins today, those people would know that name from the diesel engine, but now talking about the advanced electrified and hybrid powertrains that they're putting together. So tapping into that network. Today, I know when Dave and I started this, there was about 4 companies that we dealt with at that point, and we felt pretty good. Ironically, it was 5, the military, and then 4 others from an economic development agency grant. And we said, hey, this place isn't going to sustain itself on that. Each year bringing that down. As we stand here this morning, actually north of about 170 companies that we represent and work with, again, from startup all the way through to major. We've had, at this point, nearly 500 projects and product initiatives that have come through the Battery Innovation Center or sustained at the Battery Innovation Center. And then, within the last 18 months, have been able to secure what we understand is the very first accredited battery short courses. Thanks to Vincent's University for stepping forward, leaning into their skis to be out there and support us with that on a couple of crazy ideas. And now, again, a course that has become an industry-known resource for training and outreach. On the grow and attract side, so again, we like to, we'll play our Indiana roots, but I want to be really cautious and tell you that we're not officially only looking at Indiana. In fact, that was one of our challenges at the very beginning, was how do we look outside of Indiana day one? And we know we can bring Indiana because we can travel there very, very easily, but outside of Indiana, how do we get relevant players there? At this point, in looking through our data, we represent nearly all 50 states. Very, very close there, just a couple that we're working on, some places that we probably like to vacation and talk to some folks about. Over 18 countries that represent out of the BIC. Over 3,000 distinguished guests and folks that have been through the BIC. A lot of those have not been in southern Indiana before. Some of them have never been in Indiana ever, and they flew into Indianapolis, bypassed our downtown metropolis on their way to the middle of nowhere on I-69 to see Indiana for the first time. So that's huge. We've had over 600 attendees in our training and outreach programs on technology. We're going to, by the end of this year, and with some other projects we're working on, we'll have close to 1,000 already, and that's growing in huge scale. I think this is kind of another key here. Over 85% of the clients have had no initial presence in Indiana. So I know you'll see some big names that you recognize from Indiana, but then you're going to hear some other names, and if you look through our list of folks who work with us, again, first time coming in Indiana, have no presence in Indiana at this point. And then, with that growth in the track, the ability to bring Underwriters Laboratories. So the BIC is also home to, I hope I wouldn't ask for a show of hands because I wouldn't want to call anybody out, but I hope everyone's heard of Underwriters Laboratories, recognizes the UL logo on about every product that's out there. The ability to attract Underwriters Laboratories to consider the Battery Innovation Center home to their best, the Battery Energy Storage Technology Test Center, to bring their expertise and their very long-standing historical experience has been key. And then to bring a very unique set, Brightvolt, who spoke last year, and I would encourage you, we've got some of the team here today. Brightvolt, who's got some emerging technology. They've got some unique things they've done in the conventional lithium space, and are now working on rechargeable with thin film, polymer electrolytes, solid state, if you will. Some very cool things there to incubate this company and to have their team on site collaborating with the BIC every single day. So, a way for us to grow and attract. And then what's next? And so we can get to the show. The battery short course growth, for the balance of this year and continuing on, we're looking to expand on that. Again, Vincent has been a huge partner. So is Purdue University. Recently, Georgia Tech, and also working on CMU, Carnegie Mellon, to come alongside and actually help us start to take some of our programs and look at how do we certify those. Not only how do we teach those at the BIC and teach them at our clients' facilities, but also how can we inject that back into the next, I say the next generation, but the next group, the next wave that's coming through all of our companies. We hear every day about the need for folks that have technical experience, but then they need battery experience, advanced energy experience, whether that be powertrains or chemistry, material science, packaging, all the alike. So we're partnering with several folks. Cummins is actually going to help us pilot that with a couple, along with a few other. We've got a few other partners I can't announce yet that are going to help us there. So we're excited to see how that training and outreach grows. Again, our goal is not only to get people up to speed, but then we want to stay one step ahead of them. How do we pull you ahead of the rest of the industry? Expanding of our capabilities and teams. For folks who haven't visited the BIC in the last 12 months, I would tell you if you walked in today, I had somebody who came in just a few weeks ago who was there when Captain Lasoda opened the building. Pardon my explicative, he said, "Holy shit." When he walked through the lab door, he goes, "You guys have filled this place." He said, "This is awesome." He goes, "I was expecting a little more equipment." And he said, "You've got a lot." He said, "You're like full, right?" So yes, message her loud and clear, be expanding our capabilities. We are looking at some opportunities even this year for potential acquisition for the BIC to acquire someone to continue our growth, which is exciting to announce, a few years in, and we're already solid enough to be looking how do we grow both organically and inorganically as well. And then also our team. While my team I've worked with some pretty amazing teams over my career from Diversified and Enterdell and others, some really, really great people. I feel like I've got a culmination of all of those talents that I've been exposed to along the way with some of the best group and brightest group of folks that I've ever worked with at the BIC. But we're going to continue to grow that. We need more resources, and so we're adding to that. It also brings new people to Indiana. Ironically, a lot of our team is not from. We've got some from Indiana, but we've brought people. We've maintained people in Indiana. We've also people that came here for schooling have now decided to stay with the BIC and make Southern Indiana their home. And then the last one is deeper collaboration. How do we deeper work with our networks today? We've got a tremendous network. Again, all of you sitting here today, and an even broader group. At this point, thousands of people that we work with. How do we work together better for you? How do we help move you forward? How do we help move the industry forward as well? So, again, I appreciate everyone's support. Appreciate you being here. On behalf of the entire BIC team, I want to thank you for joining us for the luncheon. We're going to have a kind of a unique show this year. We started off with networking earlier today, thanks to Richard Hatfield with this beautiful centerpiece that I get to stare at right now, his electric motorcycle. I know he's going to tell the story on it before, but I remember seeing the very first one, thinking, hey, there's a motorcycle with batteries in it. And and you walk in today and say, hey, there's a motorcycle, I'm not sure what that is, but that's really, really cool. You know, that evolution, and the same thing with Tesla and with Cummins as well, that evolution is super exciting. So we'll get to hear some more about what they're doing on cutting and bleeding edge, and then I'll tee it off here with the rest of the show. We're going to have some of our big network and members share about what they're doing, and today you're going to see a pretty diverse set of folks, everything from some OEMs to startups to a chemistry company to Underwriters Laboratories, talking about some of their history as well.